Hey everyone, I'm Wa.
And I'm Chris, and welcome to Docu Sweeties.
We're two longtime friends to discuss the riveting and sometimes trashy world of reality TV and docuseries.
Yes, but through our own lens, which can be spicy, can be salsa-y, can be picante, can be medium, or can be, mild. But at the end of the day, hopefully mildly sweet. Thank you so much for listening as we talk about Life After Lockup, Season 4, Episode 43, Family Lies.
True lies, family ties. If you know any of those, then you are a person of my spirit. Um, so let's jump right into our first couple, and that is Puppy, Amber, and Decaf. Chris?
Yes, honey, decaf. I like decaf. So basically, we know what's happening with the two couples. It's like right now, the couple of couples is, of course, Amber and Puppy. But for right now, we're cosplaying relationships with both of them. And TC and Amber and Eric and Puppy. And so last we picked up, TC was basically like, Amber, like you can't be around Puppy because you get in bad places and they may or may not selling drugs and like whatnot. And the last time we see Puppy, she's basically a kept woman, like, like in a bird cage, and she's like singing. Okay, she's just like, so then we pick up and Amber and Queenie go to get like coffee, and then, Amber's like, I want my coffee black, and Queenie's like, decaf. I love Queenie so much. And they basically are like, Puppy will never be happy and never be free. And there's never going to be a time we can worry with her as long as Eric is sniffing around. He's horrible. He's trash. Like he's no good for our girl, which we've obviously been knowing. And you would have to be, Helen Keller not to know. And even Helen Keller was a very smart woman. She knew, you know what I'm saying? She could smell it literally on him. She could. So, this is what we find out. So basically, Eric's ex-wife that he's getting a divorce with, and that's what Puppy like wanted the divorce to happen, like, and then he's also paying for it and blah blah blah. That person calls Puppy and is like, "Look, bitch." Shh. Puppy with her big eyes and her like, like fog big eyes, she's like bloop bloop, and has to sit on the phone while this bitch 3-person calls like Mean Girls like in high school. Eric, who's so dumb that he doesn't know me, and like, obviously Puppy meets himself in it, and they start talking and they're like, why did you ghost after we fucked last week? No, it was you that was ghosting me. Like, no, I texted you. And all the time Heather knows that like Puppy is hearing this. Okay, it's super fucked up. Blah.
Yeah, I mean, Puppy has to let Amber know this over phone, and so Queen is hearing it, and she's like, "I don't know what I'm gonna do because I can't stay here with Eric because he doesn't love me and he's cheating on me, but I can't leave because I don't have anything, and that's the way Eric likes it." So, I mean, Heather told me that he was with her last night, and he didn't even come home last night, and I'm not gonna ask him about it because he's just gonna lie, and he knows that Heather told me, so. There's no reason. And so she comes into the house after smoking on the veranda, and she leaves the door open. And I know that there's flies in that home. It's very upsetting to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, what kind of house do you keep where you enter and you just leave the front door open? Like, no.
No, it's a metaphor for how they're running their actual lives, though. Wow, and neither one of them are tip top.
And just no closing the doors at all, just letting the flies in. Mm-hmm. And so then Eric gets there, and she's like, and he's like, "Where you want to go? Your mother's house?" And she was like, "Yes, but let me get dressed." So she goes and puts on this semi-cute outfit. I saw where she was going. It was executed okay, but then there's running her stockings.
Oh, the run in her stockings made me so bad. Like, it's a big shirt. Listen, it's a big shirt that she cinched with a cinching belt waist, and so that was that. She has the black sunglasses on, but yes, she got a run in her stockings. And it's not that we want everyone to be perfect, but I think that like at that point,
when you're in your 30s, you don't have run in your stockings. Run in your stockings is for when you like, if you were a churchgoer, because as a avid churchgoer for 10 years of my adolescence, I went to church twice a week, right? So one of those of the twice a week, you wore pantyhose. And so they were very delicate back in the day. Now you can wear tights and get away with it. I put on tights like I put on leggings. It's like wild to me. But there was a time in my life when I had to make sure that all of my nails were buffed. and I had to like shimmy each toe, like scrunch it down, and then put it on, and like Pretty Woman, just kind of like delicately draw it up, and then not all the way up, just to your calf, and then you do the same thing for the other foot. And you put the toe in and you bring it up. And it's just like this delicate balance because at any moment, a run could happen and then you had to throw the pantyhose away. And if it happened in like your toe area, you got a piece of nail, you got a little bit of clear nail polish. And then you went over and you stopped the run with the nail polish. I mean, this is the way we had to live our lives back in the day. So as a grown woman who chooses to wear pantyhose that has a possibility of having a run in them, you must be very careful. Anywho, so she stops at a gas station to bring her mother flowers and chocolates. She ends up opening the chocolates and eating them before she gets there, which, listen, it's all about the thought that counts. It's not customary for me to go to somebody's house and bring things. So I always love it when people do it because it always reminds me that I should.
I love bringing things to people's homes, so I really enjoy it, especially wine is so easy, as long as, that they are someone who drinks, and it's awkward if they don't. So you got to make sure. So, but yeah, and I'll tell you right now, Puppy's mom drinks, so you can definitely have brought it. Vodka poison.
Oh yeah, they brought vodka as well.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, they all sit outside and they all have like, cigarettes, and it's different chairs, and in this moment, and I think I've thought this before, but it's like every season I remember how much Puppy's mom reminds me of Amber. Amber's energy, Puppy's mom gives me like white Amber energy. Lower voice. She kind of looks like her, like look at wider face or like an open face. I can't do it. So basically, Puppy and Eric sit there, and Amber's mom. Puppy's mom is there, and they're like, she's like, hey, what, like, how is everything? And Puppy's like, and Eric's like, everything's fine. Everything's fine. You're like, yeah, and Puppy's like, well, we're still waiting on the divorce. The divorce is happening, whatever. And then, and Eric's like, yeah, that's just going along, but everything with us is fine. We're solid as a rock, totally great, and then like Puppy's like, okay, so then Eric, for some reason, leaves, okay? And he's just like walks out of frame. And before he even got a frame, like Puppy's mom was like, what's really happening? And Puppy's mom's like, I gotta get out. No, I gotta get out. No, let me tell you, he's cheating on me. I gotta have no money, no car. I gotta find a plan. And the women start talking together. And then fucking Eric comes back and he's like, come on, kiddo, we gotta go. And in that moment, I was like, why doesn't fucking Puppy's mom be like, hey, Eric, she's going to spend the night tonight. We're going to have something to talk about. I'll get her home later. It's like, here's the thing. Not that every mom is great, but I just feel like I want, as a woman, that's your daughter? You're just like, and she's telling you she's got to figure out to leave. And you're going to be like, yeah, I got to figure out a way to leave. Okay, bye. Good night. Thanks for the flowers and half-eaten chocolates and vodka. See you later. I mean, I don't know. It was heartbreaking. That part was hard. I want to be like, because I don't know. Listen, everyone is different. And I guess there's a privilege or whatever. But if I would have someone I love in my life, like a female that I love, who was like, in a situation that I knew wasn't great, and they were like, I got to fucking find a way to get out, I'd be like, yep, we will. And we will. So step one is you're staying here tonight. I don't know. Just like it's your mom. Also, it's my mom. So I'm just like, no, you should be one of the reasons why she can get out easily. Come on.
Yeah, I don't know why the mom isn't able to just fully pull her out. Maybe it's a Southern thing. Maybe she's like, she's grown and she's made her bed and I haven't been able to tell Puppy what to do. And I don't want to get involved because then this makes my house the battleground. And I don't want him over here hollering for her and her going back and forth and all that stuff. So maybe that could be it. Also, I want to get you like a lapel mic so bad. I just watched you just do this the whole time. And now I'm going to have to just do some like jumping jacks with this with you.
Was I really doing that?
Yes, you are never aware of it. And the whole time I'm just like, okay, at 8:49, I now need to go through and look at that sound wave. And as she just back and forth, did you get a new mic?
This is my travel mic.
Oh, okay.
Well, sorry about it. Well, I'll keep talking.
And so yeah, I guess that's what I think it is that there must be some kind of family thing. But I don't know that she actually left. We didn't see the end of it to see if she left with him. Um I how long has she been with Eric? 2 years? I don't know. I guess I'm just like, as somebody who has like so much privilege, I just don't know why she can't just say, no, I'm leaving. Why does she think he's gonna fight for her? Or maybe he is. I don't know. Okay, so next couple is Chance and Taylor. I'm gonna tell you right now, wherever they went to get food, I want to get food from there. Look delicious. So we pick up where Am Taylor is in the kitchen. I mean, she is a pregnant. She is that baby mama. This my baby mama. You can't stop my baby. Nah, she pregnant. She's like real pregnant. And I want to say that she's like 8 months. She's almost there. And she is at the stove, and I don't know what she's cooking, but I wonder what it is. And she calls Chance, and he looks at his phone and denies the call, doesn't answer her. He gets home, and she's like, "You didn't answer my phone call." And he's like, "Well, it was probably my GPS." A lie, just a full blatant lie. He takes her feet, starts to rub them in order to tell her that Ethan, his son, is coming. And she's like, "When?" And he's like, "I don't know, in the next couple of days here, but yeah, so I told him I buy his ticket." So I'm like, then you do know because you bought the ticket, so you know when he's coming exactly. And she's like, "Well, you didn't talk to me about it." And he says, "Well, I don't want to have to ask my girlfriend about that kind of stuff. I'm used to being able to do anything that I want." And well, that's an old life, sir. You do not get to do everything that you want. And you now have a full family to take care of. So spending $300, $400 on a plane ticket for your grown adult son, who could at least give you half or pay half of his ticket as a grown man who has his own apartment or his own home with, five other roommates. But like, so he tries to go back and forth with her about it, and it is just so dumb. And finally, she acquiesces. What the hell can she do? So the next day, they're cleaning, and he's cleaning off cabinets. So I was like, wow, that house has got a lot of dirty, sticky fingers everywhere.
Oh, honey. And then Ethan gets there, and like they showed us pictures of Chance, like when he was, obviously with a brand new baby. And let's call a spade a spade. He was hot. Hot. This person's hot in those pictures, right?
Same
What?
haircut too. Same haircut, Chris. Like
Yeah.
he's like Shane from Shane and Lacey. He's like, it's like the same like cool white boy comb it forward haircut of yesteryear.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, like, if I saw this person at a bar, he would catch my eye. I'm not saying that I would, if he opened his mouth, maybe I would hear something and not be into it. I mean, like, I'm not saying anything about it, but he's handsome enough to be like, oh, wow, well, guy's handsome. I wouldn't have that whole reaction on the outside, but on the inside, all that. You know what I'm saying? Probably on the outside too, because I'm like highly reactive. It's fine. You can like see whatever I'm thinking. It's like annoying. So we meet Ethan, and Ethan, what does he look like to you?
He definitely doesn't look like True Blood, but I could see where his dad was going. Ethan looks like a luscious, locked, tiny-eyed individual. Like if he'd be a beautiful woman. Like he was giving all the small, delicate features. But like he could be hot if he like fully saw and knew what he looked like. I'm
I
like,
can. Oh yeah.
go ahead. Like if he'd like shaved the sides and like had like a man bun and it was like buffed out and like he looked like he was having a little eyeliner situation going on, like take the eyeliner off because we don't need it. But I understood what he was doing. He was trying to add like smokiness to his eyes, and which is fine. But I mean, Ethan came there and fully read the entire situation. He read the entire situation. I was like, bravo, sir. Anyways, what'd you think of Ethan?
Yeah, I mean, like I can see like mild vampire, also kind of like that player guy that had that Bro Academy, like that kind of like that eyeliner look is just it gives me too many tropes. It's like Captain Jack from Pirates of the Caribbean. There's also that dude that had that horrible show that like would neg women, that guy. And here's the thing. I will say that yes, I feel like looking at Ethan's face, I know what Ethan's mom looks like.
Yes. And she's
Like
beautiful, or at least once
beautiful
was.
blue, yeah, beautiful blue eyes that are like wide set, like a little wider set, like probably a very warm face, like like she looks like almost like maybe like Eastern European or maybe like Polish, like back in the day, like that. I just there's like something kind of like that. And he is wearing nail polish, and the girls are like, "Can I see your nails?"
Oh, I didn't see that. That's funny. Yeah, like his hair is his mother's hair must be just luscious. Now, she obviously doesn't make good decisions because there's some character named Lloyd that he doesn't like. And fuck Lloyd. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
But like he basically tells him that, hey, you're gonna have a brother. And Ethan's like, whoa, 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 whoa. I just got a father. So don't tell me I'm getting a brother.
Yeah.
I don't know y'all.
Mhm.
And Taylor is so weird with Ethan. And I know why. It's because she told Chance that he might feel some kind of way, Ethan, that Chance just got out of prison, didn't even look towards him to see what he was doing before he fully on got a new family. And Chance did not even think of that. And he's like, no, that's probably not what he's going to think. And I think that Ethan did think that. He got there and he was like, wow, there's a lot going on here. And I hope that my dad makes good decisions. Doesn't look like he is, because got a lot of kids and got a lot of things going on. I see, but hoping for the best because I do think that people can change. But yeah, that boy looked like his mama. That boy looked like his mama.
They basically then go to a bar and have like some bro time or whatever, and Ethan's like, yes, I didn't know who you were, and I thought this person named Lloyd, who wasn't cool, was my dad, and I was so happy to find out that it wasn't Lloyd. But I definitely never knew what it was like to have a dad, and always looked at other people being like, oh, I'm without, and it really fucking hurt. And he cries, and like Chance cries, and then Ethan's like, yeah, or Chance is like, yeah, I obviously missed out a bunch because I was trying to like do the best for you and your mom and really like take care of you guys. But then I got sidetracked by the accident, and then I got stuck on the pain pills and like yada yada, addict personality. And then that's when Ethan's like, yeah, I really like to spend money. And sometimes I just like spend money when like I know my rent's coming up, I don't have enough, and then I have to like dip into my savings to count my rent. And then I mean, Chance hears the word like savings account. Is like, what's the what? You have a savings? My son has a savings. I'll never know what that's like. Oh, it's like so. But it was like a sad moment. But also where you're just like, oh, like Chance wants so badly to be a man and is just throwing credit cards left and right and hacking away at some sort of version of what he feels like is successful in like America or whatever, or what it takes for him to feel like he didn't miss out on like choices and or miss out on things because of his choices. So it's a really actually very intense scene to watch, like in this ridiculous trashy reality show. Like, I mean, unless they're lying to us and these people are not people that haven't seen each other in 18 years, it's like, yeah, it's very interesting. So
yeah, it was like riveting television a little bit. They both cried. The boy says, do better and stay clean, stay okay, and it always breaks my heart when I wish that there were more representation of different types of family in our society so that those who don't have this nuclear whatever family don't feel without, because the truth is that some households with a mother and a father are just as traumatizing and damaging and shitty. Or we have everything. There are people who live with a single parent and are wonderful situation, like a wonderful single parent situation. And I hate for that person in that wonderful single parent situation to feel bad that they don't have this other person that might have just fucked everything up. Like might have fucked everything up, might have made your lives terrible with that person. And so, like I know so many people who have like the single parent and have lovely relationships with their parent, and still felt like they missed out. Yeah, so anyways, that broke my heart, and Chance cried, he cried, but we know Chance is destined for doom because Taylor is not going to stay there for too much longer. I think he's like two or one big fuck up away from her walking away, and then and like maybe three little ones. She gets really pissed off at him when they go to dinner, and he also doesn't know how to argue or when to stop arguing. Like she accidentally, and I think it was an accident because she was that mad, she
Mhm.
accidentally tells him to shut up.
Yeah,
And
she was
he
mad.
then goes in and continues to talk about it like he wants to reprimand her. He's embarrassed, and so, and he's also like a liar and like all kinds of other things. So
Yeah.
it just felt really on par, and I'm like, oh girl, Taylor, you can't be with somebody who does that.
Yeah, absolutely. When they go to the restaurant, yeah, he goes to a nice restaurant, and she's not happy about that. Whatever. They like are trying to figure out like which fork do I use or whatever. And the answer, guys, is you start from the outside. If you get a salad and there's two forks, obviously the first fork you can get is the salad fork, and then the bigger fork will be your main fork. That's how you do it. Just so you want to know. So also he takes this moment to be like, we found out the name, you guys. We got the name for the baby inside your mom. It's going to be Mason Carter, which is the most, like, okay, great, okay, Mason Carter. I mean, I love the name Mason, like Carter, like, great, okay. But then he decides to have a whole thing where he's like, and the reason why is because the name Mason, big family name. Yes, my great 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 grandpa, Masonable. And then my great 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 grandmother, her name was Cartery Cardensign, and that's how I got the name Mason Carter. And then like confessional, Taylor's like, Chance lies a lot, like all the time, for no reason. It makes no sense. So like for instance, the name thing, like we were looking at baby names in a book and we found Mason Carter.
Yeah, it is crazy. I knew he was lying when he said that. I said, someone with such a strong family lineage does not get addicted to pain pills. You
Oh,
don't
babe, you can't say that. The Kennedys and stuff like that. I mean, there's definitely a lot of people that are addicts that have like strong lineages with names and
I
stuff.
mean, yeah, I was setting myself up for a joke, but
Sometimes you say things all the time, like where I'm like, but I
Yeah,
just can't
I
put it
mean,
on
but that's
myself.
also within too a joke of me being like, yeah, of course you couldn't. No, it can happen, but I know he's lying. I was just gonna say like Nathan, because Nathan obviously has a long lineage too in that Mima's house. The dolls all have a name, so I know it can happen. I was just saying like he's the great 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 like I didn't believe it for 1 second that Chance knows the name. And also the name Mason was not a name back then. At first I thought he was gonna say, yeah, my great 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 grandfather's was a Mason, was a part of the Freemasons. Like that's what I thought he was gonna say. And he didn't. And then when he said, yeah, Carter too, I said, is that their last name? People named Jebediah and John Smith. Like those are they took names from the Bibles and the great, great, great. Unless like, you're gonna tell me it's some kind of Norwegian name? Because that's wrong. Like, what are you gonna say?
I mean, I think that Mason is a name because I think like how black, I think like how Blackwell's and or like how they used to name people the things that like either their dad was or whatever the fuck, like
Yeah, but
carpenter.
that's a last name, no?
You're right, but I think that sometimes I mean I don't know. Those You're right. I don't quite know, but
Yeah,
this
no,
is also
I know it's a to me it's a title. And so that's why I was like, if you're gonna say that, then say yes. Because my great great grandfather was a part of the Freemasons, and he was also a bricklayer, or he like, whatever. Say it's the trade. Yeah, like
you're
I
right.
knew a girl named Shields because it was a family name, and she was named Shields. So just like there's other ways to say it. So the way he said it was like, oh, this is a lie.
I'll tell you what also is a ridiculous part of the scene, and I mean, maybe this is also speaks to my privilege because this is also what happens. Then the check comes, and he puts his 3 credit cards down to split on his own 3 credit cards, which he puts 3 credit cards down. He's like, okay, can I put 15 on the Visa ending in this one? Can I put 25 on the MasterCard ending in this one? Can I have $2 on this Amex? You're just like, what? Just like, so, I mean, at
Yeah, that was
that
some
point,
wild.
I just like, okay, dear God, please just, if your son, if you bought a ticket for your son, then just get some pasta from Costco, honey. You get pasta one night, you get tacos, and that you just like make the entire meal for everyone for like $30. You know what I'm saying? Like we can't be spending like no wonder. I mean, yeah, it just gives me such anxiety. You know, I can't imagine fine tuning and just being able to nickel and dime, and that is how on the edge you are. It's 3 credit cards for one meal, and it's like
Yeah,
15
no.
and 25.
If it felt very much like me in college. It was like, can you put 30 on this card and then can you put the rest on my debit? Because I only have 75 in my debit and you can take 50. I mean, my bank account used to be, I mean, and now used to just get down to so low. And I'm like, how am I so irresponsible? So what I have to do now is like immediately put like $300 to $500 in my savings as attached to my checking, so that once I wheedle it down, if I accidentally just do the most, because I am known to do the most, I will at least have $500 to bankroll me for the rest of the month. Oh God, this is terrible. Anyways, but like,
Well, that's what Ethan should do. Can you tell Ethan?
yeah. Yeah, the same thing with he. I mean, he dips into the savings, so I'm doing the same thing. And then he like turns to her. He's like, "Babe, can you like can you do something?" And she's like, "No." She's like, "No, I don't have. I don't know why you wanted to come here, but I see why, because you wanted to show off. But like, if you don't have the funds." And then she gets frustrated. I think she does end up giving her card, and then she tells him to shut up, and he's like, "Don't tell me to shut up. That's very rude. You know that's rude." It's like, no, yeah, shut up. I'm sure Ethan had to pretend to not hear this exchange. How embarrassing. Just so embarrassing.
Embarrassing.
Embarrassed. I mean, he just like lied about the baby names, just probably lying about a bunch of other stuff. Who else?
Yeah.
I mean, now I just feel like every time I watch him, I'm just gonna choose the lies. I'm just gonna like pick out the lies. This is a lie. This is a lie.
How long do you think he power washed things for? And where do you think the power washer is now?
I don't know, but it was $700, and you could have used that money to pay for that expensive ass meal.
Remember,
How much do you think the meal was? There was pizza, there was parmesan, there was eggplant, there was chicken,
the
whatever.
3 credit cards added up to be like only $75.
I feel like one was 50 and one was 30. So I think that was like 80, right? So then like the rest on this card. I just don't know. Like in Missouri at a nice restaurant, I'm just like, it couldn't have been more if each entree was $20 and let's say it was like 3 adults, that's 60. It might have been like 120, 130. Could you imagine? Oh,
I will say this, there are places that says kids eat free, and if I had those kind of kids, like that number of kids, you know that like every place would be like, where's the kids eat free ones? You know, like she's a gaggle. Um, so let's move on. And going up the street to
Ohio.
oh sorry, we're going down. Sorry. Sean and Sarah.
Boo, 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 boo. So this is a really interesting segment because they did some, time traveling in their segment. So first she wakes up, she looks left, she looks right, and she looks and she sees I mean, it is like B movie acting of its finest. She like this is what it is. It shows Sarah, she's like Dracula.
No.
And then she gets out and she walks down the stairs with her matching set. I said, good for you. I mean, the color combination like wasn't cute, but like good for her in the matching set. She walks down from Ross. She walks down and she's in the he's in the kitchen like bouncing the baby, and he's like, "Good morning," and she's like, "Good morning." Full face, full unblended face, just like lashes, silver, blue, and like he's bouncing the baby, and she's like excited about it, and she's like, "She didn't let you wash the dishes, huh?" And he's like, "No, I was gonna get to it." It's like,
he is comically a doofus. That I kind of like can't believe that Kelly didn't get him to marry her if she wanted that. And it's so interesting that Sarah really got it so fast. You
I
know?
mean, the thing is that like Sarah is like 5 times prettier than Kelly. Like I think that Sean is to he's shallow. And I think that if he could I think he always rested back on Kelly because that's his league. But like if he could get other and do other, he did. And also I'm sure Kelly, like it's one thing when you have one failed non-marriage with 6 kids, that I think he really got an eye-opening at his wedding when his daughter cried. And I think until then, Sean just felt like he was paying the bills, he was taking care of them. So like, why were they complaining, you know? And then now I think he's had like, he really understands that he lucked out with Sarah, because he could have been Destiny. He lucked out with Sarah. And now he's like, I have this hot wife in this like cheap city and I'm here and I have another baby. Like I got to do better. I got to do right. And I think it's like, or you're going to end up alone. Sarah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Where do you think Destiny is?
I mean, somewhere in buttfuck California, Modesto, or some dumbass city in California, like probably lost her 6th child. You know what? Someone told me, and this is something that I forgot. Puppy has like 3 kids.
Oh no.
Yeah. And the only reason why we love her is because we don't know about her children.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, literally, there's none of these shows make me happy that there's kids abroad, or I mean, aboard the ship. You know what I'm saying? Like 90 Day Fiance, like unless you're a perfect couple, and there's a couple, I guess. I'm just like, I don't want to see that kids are involved. I don't want to see. I want to see you mess up your lives. You can fuck up your whole lives and the choices, but the fact that there's just young ones, wide-eyed, just like looking up at you as if you're the one that like is supposed to supposed to tell them right from wrong. That's why it was also hard with Larissa, right? Like, remember when we all found out Larissa had like 2 kids she was ever gonna probably see again?
Yeah, but the thing is though, like Larissa is different for me because she's not like over here doing drugs and like ruining her life, and her kids are with her family in probably a very loving, better situation than with her. And I'm sure she's sending back money to them in a way she would have never been able to provide for them in them. But so it's like, the difference for me is that if we don't judge men for walking away from their kids or like going someplace else and working and to take care of their kids, like I am harder. It's hard for me to judge her. Same thing with Jasmine, like, right? Jasmine and Jasmine and Gio, like she had 2 kids that she never took care of.
Well, from Hazel and Tariq, did Hazel ever get her son over here?
I don't know, but I think her and Tariq are like tumultuous. So like, I think they're together now. Like sometimes she pops up on TikTok for me after going live, but I haven't seen Tariq at all. I need an update on them. They were a good part of my like 90-day career. Like I made fun of him endlessly.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah,
that rap song, the music and the clothing and the brother, like
that was like key 90 Day Fiance, like magistrate.
He also loved Hazel so much. Like he was just like so obsessed with her. He was just like, how is this? Like she's a beautiful, tiny little delicate like doll that he was like, I can't believe I get to have this doll.
And she wants to be bisexual. She wants like a brown girl with a big booty.
Like he really struck it rich.
Yeah.
And if he fucks it up, it's only on him to blame, or his music. You can blame his music. What if he's just like, yeah, it didn't work out because the music was like too important,
Remember Ricky?
Yes.
Ricky and Jimena?
Yeah.
Oh, that was crazy.
That was like a different, then we had a different Hamina.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Anyways, let's guys, we're talking about, check us out on 90 Day Fiance.
Memory lane.
Okay. Sean.
So we're still talking about them. So basically after that whole part's happened, and this is also after the situation where she pulled the video games things off his head twice. He's trying to be like a better for her, better for him, for the baby, like just trying to like really make it work because he feels so shitty because he's made such shitty choices, and I think he's also just like slow. I don't know if I can blame anyone but for whatever. So then we go right to like a doctor's office, and there's a nurse, honey, who just sharpied her entire head. It's like the blackest hair dye where you're just like, I mean, that's like a noir. I mean, like, I don't even know how. I don't know. Like, it's so black, it's blue. Anyway.
They do make a blueberry or blackberry like hair dye. So yeah, and her hair is different, and we're like, oh, why is Sarah's hair different? Who did her hair? Did her mom come over and do that? It's like, blonde in the front, like Jen from Jen and Rishi, and not Jen from Jenny and Smith. And then like she yeah, I was just confused almost the entire time, to be honest with you. And then we found out she's in a doctor's office to get her boobies done. I thought she was going to get her tummy tucked. I mean, if she wants to get that, they should do that there too. And she is like putting, they're going to take her to a D cup, even though all she wants is a C. And I'm like, stop trying to make her go bigger. Sean doesn't want her to get it because he kind of feels like I think she's pretty the way she is, and like if she gets hotter, then like guys are gonna be looking at her. So it was like, yeah, kind of jealous, and I'm like, yeah, great. And then she gets like a very unsurreptitious call from Anthony, and Anthony wants to meet the baby, who's 8 now. I'm like, wow, have Sarah and Sean been together 2 years too? Like, I feel like that baby Abby was like 6 when we first saw her. And notice how she isn't in the show anymore, which I like.
Yeah.
She doesn't. I'm like, does she not live with Sean and Sarah? Like, I don't know where she is.
Great question. Also, because then it's like, does it mean that Anthony at some point was like, I don't want her on the show, but he's in the show? I don't, yeah, like who would, you're right. So yeah, she had gone from obviously like red dyed hair to like now it is like this brown and blonde streaked hair. And then, so it was obviously that some time had passed. And then when she comes home, okay, so sorry, let me say this. Let me finish up. The doctor's office is interesting. Like they give her a little like tank top, like, well, these would be like what Caesar, these would be whatever. To put them in, you kind of feel them, and she like sees them. She like picks whatever she wants. And she's like, yeah, he's like, why are you doing it? You doing it to like for other guys? Who are you doing it for? She's like, for you, because you just keep playing those fucking video games with those whores in them, and I just want to look like the whores in your video games. Or like she's just like putting it on him. I thought it was interesting. Good move, because she doesn't want to say is I want to be hot so I can like leave your stupid ass and like maybe go back to my other baby daddy. We'll see. So then we get to the house and the baby has aged, and that's how we know time has passed.
Yeah, they even like put a title card underneath the baby and was like Adelaide 6 months, and I was like, oh, this is 3 months later, because Adelaide was like 3 months when we saw her from before. She's a big ass baby.
She's a jub. I just love like I love the kind of baby that when they get to this age, they're obviously like delicate beings who can't like just like leave them for hours or whatever, but like they're not like broken necked. You're just like you can kind of like maneuver with them and kind of like hold their thigh like real close, and they're just kind of just like with you. I love that kind of thing. Give me
they're clingy. They're like baby monkeys. I like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it feels like the mother has a hard time holding her because she's so heavy. She's like half the size of Sarah. That is a big baby, and she's cute, and she looks like her older sister so much. When I was like, oh my God, she looks like that girl that was crying at the wedding with all that hair. they have the same exact haircut.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I was like, wow. Sean's jeans just like, I don't know where. Listen, the baby, it would have been grateful if the baby had gotten some of Sarah's jeans, not Sarah's mother's jeans, Sarah's jeans. So then, we see Sarah's mother again, and we're like, thank God that we get to witness how bad it could be. Yep. She's so interesting looking to me. And the mother is really excited. The mother's like, damn, she gonna get herself some Hooters. And I said, that's mother support, if anything.
Yeah, that's like, like I'm gonna empower my daughter the only way we can with her looks, But we also get to know that like when Sarah went away, obviously Sarah's mom, Kathy, raised Abby, and during that time, Anthony was oot and a boot and didn't like support or like ever stop by or whatever. And so Kathy like doesn't love Anthony.
Yeah.
And so Sarah, if she's like flirting with the idea of being with him, can't like outwardly be like that in front of her mom. And so her mom's like, well, why do you want to hang out with him? He just wants to be with you, and like he wants to like, be back with you. And Sarah's like, yeah, but I can't keep him away from his daughter. And then Kathy's like, yeah, I guess, even though he had a really easy time doing it himself.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? Who knows if he would ever want to be with Abby? I mean, the truth is that I think that when you're on drugs, like the last thing you want to do is like be around your child, right? You don't want them to see you in that state. you don't feel like responsible to do so, and like, you know, it's much easier just to stay away until you feel like you could do right by them. So I do understand that, but I feel like it's also about him wanting to get back with what's her face now that she's out and doing well.
And same seems like samesies wamesies, you know, like a little bit. So, um, yeah. So, anything else to say about them?
Nope, let's move on to Justine and Michael, and let's just say one line. We now understand the origin of the cross guard outfits. We understand it. There is a splice from last episode. They got a doula. They look like bank robbers in the beginning. They're like putting together some kind of shoe situation to mail out. Then we find out that he wants to move here, there, and everywhere. Justine doesn't think that's a good idea. She wants to make sure her kids are involved in this decision and that we're thinking about their best interest, not just Mike's decision to move about the country and live somewhere where he can get a compound and have his own land. And then we find out that Santana is on the spectrum and he kicks Mike in the belly. And at that point, I'm like, Mike has Santana's too grown to hit another person and not have there be any physical repercussions. I would have hit him back. So Mike is better than me. Mike just went to the bathroom.
I mean, yeah, you can't hit it. I mean, I wouldn't on TV hit a child. I think Mike was smart, but yeah. You know, yeah, I think that we did it. Oh, I don't know what to say. I wouldn't. I think that eating placenta is good if you want to do it. I liked it when Michael did his little like Jim to camera The Office when he like in the scene and is hearing about like we're gonna eat it like ha ha, and he's just like. So, all I think also was funny is he wanted to make a big show of the fact that they're going to like tell Justine's kids and everything like that they're going to move and have, and so he literally says the same 4 words over and over again. He's like, "You guys, we just want to involve you in this decision because this is life and your involvement in this decision benefits us. We want you to pick where we're going to live, so you're involved in this life. It only benefits you and us." Like, I just was just like, oh my god, like really same words. He's like, you know, he's so interesting, and I wonder how many times they had to film that scene where he, you know, had to improv that line. Okay, so on to listen. We ended with them last episode, and we're going to end with them this episode. It's Monique, it's Derek, it's sister, 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 and sister.
I mean, such great television, such great television. I love a fight, especially when one person is like in the car trying to get away from the drama, and the other person is like, swing then, swing then. And that person says, okay.
Yeah. So going back a little bit, in Derek's sisters are in the car. Elizabeth has decided to wear a pink fur and just like a ski type face mask.
She looks fabulous. She came, I mean, this dress was too short. It's obvious. But Elizabeth really did came to stunt on these hoes, and I was here for it. If Cardi B were wearing that, and I have a memory of Cardi B wearing something similar, and she ate. They ate. So that's all. I'll be back. That's all I have to say about that. They ate.
Of course, I like the pink fur. The face mask is really threw me off because it didn't look like a face mask that was chic or fashion. I didn't quite understand if it was COVID related. It looked ski related. I mean, it was a full face mask, and then it's so literally points where I was like, did she just get something done? Maybe, and this is like her way of like not having us see that she was just, I don't know, like, or didn't have makeup on. I mean, I don't know, like got new lips done. I'm not quite sure, but like it was confusing enough, you know. So it felt like because the face mask had to be there, the coat was like a distracting option. And yeah, the dress was no dress. So basically the whole time his sisters are like, why is Monique's sisters so fucking involved in your business, as they're like saying this, and that's of course like they started so much drama themselves, and then they like LOL themselves like, oh, I guess, oh, me, yes. And they're like, look, we're not gonna like start a fight, and he like tells them what's up. We like want all of us to get together, and they're like, we just got our nails done. They have like matching long ass nails. They're like, we paid $400 for these nails. Like, they're not coming off, you know. So then that car pulls up, and this is like a somewhat familiar scene. And then the sisters are in their car. Monique's sisters are in their car. They pull up, and you know, like they get out and approach each other, and they start to kind of like talk about why they don't like each other. And like, well, back, when we first came out of the car, back when he came out of prison, you walked up to us and said that you were trying to gauge the temp, and I was really upset about that. And so that's when I did the IG post talking about, I don't like the way you look, and sorry, I bit my cheek, and how, my brother should just like have a bunch of biddies just waiting to like F him, and it shouldn't be one of you. And then Monique and they were like, well, then also Monique, told me that like, but I want to fuck my brother. And like, that was fucked up. And so they're just like going back into like what happened. And then that doesn't end with them like, talking things through and like getting to the root of the problem. Guess what? That back and forth, like blame game ends in like the escalation of like a fisticuff situation. And that's when Derek's sister, Elizabeth, is like, yelling hardcore at, I forgot, it's Monique's other sister that's not the one that was there all the time. Yeah. And then she gets into this pattern where she's like, well, you're wearing a dumb jacket. What's up? It's like, I can't tell you. She was like, they kind of like started like calling at each other in such a way that it was like kind of a joke and being read, and also just like, keep hyping up this fight. So that is when Elizabeth just runs back to the car, honey, runs back to the car. And the sisters are like, what's happening? Like, you are gonna like talk a big game, you're not gonna like try and do anything about it. And then like Elizabeth's like, I'm gonna fucking get in a fight, like get me out of this car. And then Monique comes over, they start yelling, and then the sisters like, swing if you're gonna come out, swing. And then Elizabeth's like, okay. And just like that, hops out of the car and barrels at the sisters. And I mean, like, the dress can't even stop. Like, the dress, like, gravity and speed moves the dress before anything else. You know what I'm saying? Just the pure, like, ferocity of Elizabeth just, like, getting out of the car and making the choice to, with all her might, run full fucking speed. I mean, titties everywhere. Vagina just like falls out. I mean, like this, whatever, like the skirt's going up, like, it's just a whole situation.
Well, yeah, I mean, and she like literally knocks Sylvia. Sylvia falls to the ground, and then Aubriana decides that she's going to go and fight Sylvia. Sylvia's like, oh, that bitch hit me to the ground, but you little mini skinny, y'all, no. So then after she hits Sylvia to the ground, Calandria and Monique slowly go over to Elizabeth, and Elizabeth starts to fight Calandria, punching her in her head, and Monique is trying to like stop it, but she's too slow, and she's on the other side of Calandria, and she can't get to Elizabeth, so she's like just swinging at air. And then we pan back over, and Derek is trying to stop Aubrey from fighting with Sylvia, because Sylvia is tearing Aubrey's ass up, Aubriana, and then somehow it switches. And Calandria gets over onto Aubriana and starts to pull her little weave up. And so then she's being dragged around like a rag doll. And then we've got some point Elizabeth gets on the ground and she starts kicking cars.
That part got crazy. Like, so yeah. So then, okay. There's also the security and or like producers that get in the fray, and they're like kind of blocking out their faces, but you can see there's like two white looking men also just like in the tussle, like, because you can't, like there's like liability and like insurance, like you can't just like truly let people like go at it, like, because it's like,
is that what it is?
Yeah.
I'm like, what a fight.
I know. So it's like you have to allow things to happen and then like stop it or whatever. And so they at some point have like Elizabeth's body over like a curb. Like
a header of a freaking, I don't know, like a header of a, where you stop your car. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it feels like these people have like tried to pin her there either. And so then, then she starts like hitting the car next to her. And it made me like really upset for her. Like it made me feel like, I don't know whether she was just trying to get back up again or like they were hurting her. I don't know. It was like, it was very violent, obviously,
It was great.
Well, listen, I don't know. I wouldn't say great. I mean, I guess, I don't know. That's a little bit too more like, that's too like Roman soldier for me, or Roman like lion fights. You know what I'm saying? What's it called? Tiger fights?
No. In the gladiator dens or the gladiator pens?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I love a good fight. I love when people like are talking shit and then they go to fight each other. I'm like, oh, I don't like boxing. Like I don't like any organized sport fighting, but like street fighting, I'm here for it. I don't like
Where's
Hmm?
oh sorry. Where's that knock your pussy ass out?
Where is that? That was on the street.
No, so where is he?
Oh,
I was like, sorry. I was like, where is I'm gonna knock your pussy ass out?
oh, I don't know, but I mean, I love him. What's his name? Kevin. Oh, Kevin, little body, big head, Kevin.
Small King Kevin. Small King Kevin?
Yeah, Short King, Short
Oh,
King.
sorry, King Kevin.
Short King Kevin. He
King
sure did
Kevin.
come over and knock that man. Didn't you? You didn't like that fight?
Okay, I guess I kind of like that fight because it was men, and you're right. It was one douchier man who's taller being like, and you're right. It's fun to watch like Kevin be like, I'm gonna knock the pussy ass out. Boom.
Yeah.
No,
And
that
to
part was
me,
fun.
that's what Elizabeth did. Elizabeth, it was in the car for a very long time. I will. I will. No, you won't. Then swing then. Okay.
But she didn't really pop him, did she?
She knocked Sylvia to the ground.
You know, I guess like they came when she was like cat. I don't know. She was kind of doing like they kind of like doing this. They
No,
weren't
they
like
weren't. Elizabeth grabbed a hair and was hitting. That is what you do when you get into a fight. You try to grab a bitch's hair, and once you hit her hair, you bring her head down, and then you just like pop her in and just hit her in her face. Yeah. What happened?
well, no. I feel like now I understand like my vulnerability.
Yeah, your hair. As soon as anyone, Chris, as soon as you feel like you might get into a fight,
Yeah.
even if you don't think you're going to fight, voices are raised
Pull back my hair. Oh
immediately.
yeah.
Take off your earrings because that's
Okay.
something too that can happen. So when someone's just like, "Oh, okay, yeah, no, I mean, we're fine, everything's fine, right? Everything's fine." You put your earrings down. Like that is what you like. Whenever I feel like something's about to pop off, I'm like, okay, let me just get prepared. And they can't grab my hair, so lucky for me.
I know. How many fights have you been in?
I haven't been in any fights, but
I know.
I
You
have been in near fights where and it's usually with men. I've never been in a fight with a woman because all of my life I feel like men have always felt that they could say whatever the fuck they wanted to me, and I have always been very much like, no, you cannot. And I think when they think I'm about to hit them, that's when they realize like, oh, either they have to allow me to hit them, or they will hit me back and be in trouble. So it's always black men too.
I just
They're always
love
the ones
that they
saying
say
some
whatever
shit
the fuck
too.
they want to me. I just gonna say what I let them say whatever they fuck they want, and I cry about later, and I hate myself. Anyway, we all deal with it differently.
No.
Are we done with this? Are we? Did we ever do one? Oh, wait.
Yeah, we're done. Oh, Derek was upset because Derek was like, I knew I shouldn't have been here because it was going to be some drama. And he tried to not go, but then they convinced him to go. And then, like, whatever. But this is all his fault anyway. So thanks, guys, for joining us. We will get up our toe episode sometime this week. We're going to have episode 3 of the Murdaugh murders. So we hope that you will stick around with us through this adventure. And we're looking at some other docu-series to talk about. We're looking at the Jared of Subway controversy drama. That man was the spokesperson for Subway for 15 years. I'm really enjoying the types of docu-series that kind of reference things from my I can't say yesteryear. You told me that was wrong.
No, you're right. It's always in the backwards. You try to use it, yesteryear.
Okay, from my yesteryears. And it's always interesting. So we hope that you will join us. And if you want to see the visuals of what you were listening to, you were going to go to patreon.com/DocuSweeties. It's only $10 a month, guys. That is 2 cups of coffee a month, 2 Starbucks. You know what I'm saying? If you want to give us 2 Starbucks, that'd be great. Please do so. We would absolutely appreciate it. There is a live every first Monday of the month. And sometimes we do them together. Sometimes we do them solo, depending on schedules. Chris gave a 44-minute one, girl, where she like played the full like testimony of Maggie Murdaugh's sister on it, and then spent at least 10 minutes ordering food. So it was It was quite a live event. So if you were interested in that, please join us. Chris?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. That live, Renee was with me, and so Renee and I were just talking, and Renee and I realized we both hadn't listened to this testimony of the sister, and we fucking wanted to know what she had said, and like, because during the docu-series, none of Maggie's family is involved,
Yeah.
and so we were like, well, what the fuck did this bitch say? And like, what did she think? And so I did what I had to do. And also I was starving. So yeah, I was, yeah, so did that thing where I came home and I was like, oh my God, I'm so hungry. I need to eat hot everything. What do I do? And just like, it took me so long to order, but I'll tell you how good it was. It was Kung Pao chicken. It was like $20 just for one dish. So just think, if you join Patreon, your $10 will buy me half of one dish for one meal, one time. No, thank you all so much. But I love doing the live. So yeah, every live is gonna be different depending on A, if something is crazy happening, or B, whoever shows up and wants to talk about whatever.
It was just literally you and Renee?
Uh-huh.
That is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That is amazing. Renee's great.
I know. I love you. I love you, Renee. Thank you so much. Shout out. Also said happy birthday to me. So truly lovely. We love you guys so much. But yeah, thank you so much for listening, wherever you're listening. And if you want to give us 5 stars, that's on you. And I would do it. Listen, I would give you 5 stars. So think about karma. We appreciate you, and stay tuned for the rest of the season. Okay, babe.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.